In Lorcana, you make a deck with your favorite Disney characters, items, and songs, and try to be the first to collect 20 lore. There are 3 types of cards in this game: characters, items, and actions. Let's break down the different parts of each card. On every card, the top left corner shows how much it costs to play it, and the bottom section has the card's ability, if any. Below the ability is flavor text, which doesn't affect gameplay but adds a fun element to the card. This is a character's strength and willpower, or in other words, attack and defense that are used when challenging characters. This is the amount of lore you receive when this character quests. Characters also fall into categories that can be named in certain abilities. Character and item cards are played in front of you and stay in the game until something removes them. Actions are a one-time use only. Trigger the effect and then discard the card. There's a subtype of action cards called songs. The only difference here is that a character of equal or greater cost to the song's cost can exert to use the song's ability for free. Speaking of exerting, let's discuss the difference between ready and exerted. Face-up cards are considered ready, and cards that are sideways are exerted. You can exert a card for many reasons, but once a card is exerted, it won't ready until the start of your next turn, unless you have a card that tells you otherwise. Which brings up the point that with any of the rules we discuss in this video, a card's ability is allowed to go against them. Next, let's discuss how you pay for cards. The currency of this game is called ink. Your ink are the face-down cards in your inkwell. Each card counts as 1 ink, and you can play a card from your hand to your inkwell once per turn. When you put a card face down in your ink, it is no longer that character, item, or action, it is just 1 ink. Your ink can be used to pay the cost of a card. For example, you can exert 3 inks to play this Mickey. Not all cards can be placed in your inkwell. They must have this symbol to be played as ink. Any cards without this symbol cannot be used as ink. Starting your turn. At the start of each turn, you will ready your exerted cards, check for and resolve any start of turn abilities, which in this example there are none, and draw a card. On your turn, you can take any of these actions as many times as you want, in any order. Let's go over playing a card first. When you play a character card, pay its cost and place it underneath your other cards. This reminds you that you can't quest, challenge, etc. with that character this turn. On this turn, the only thing this card can do is use an ability, with the exception of abilities that require them to exert. Item cards can be used on the turn they were played, so you can place them on that top row. Actions don't stay on the board and are just discarded after using them. For any characters you played on a previous turn, you can now use them for the rest of the actions. Questing. You will exert your character and gain lore equal to the lore icons on this card. Challenging. You can choose to challenge an opposing character that is exerted. If a character is ready, you cannot challenge them. Select an opposing character and the character you will challenge with. Exert your character, and then both will receive damage according to the other's strength. If the damage is equal to or greater than its willpower, that character is banished. If it's less, the card stays in play and the damage tokens remain on the card. Now that you know the basics, let's discuss what you do to start a game. Each player will draw 7 cards. You can alter your starting hand by selecting any number of cards to replace. Set them aside and draw back to 7 cards. Then reshuffle your deck with the cards you got rid of. Because the first player has a slight advantage, they won't draw a card for their first turn. Then, following the rules we discussed, players keep taking turns until someone reaches 20 or more lore. Then the game is over. It's important to note that some cards also have keywords that you will see on multiple cards, such as evasive or bodyguard. These are very important to know and understand, so if you want to know how they work, check out this playlist here and select the keyword you want to learn more about.